CHP News. Cemex Holdings Philippines, Inc. Cemex PH swings to 1 na bilyong piso loss on forex losses, surge ang cost of sales. Cemex Holdings Philippines, CHP, slipped into the red last year due to lower operating EBITDA and foreign exchange losses. CHP said it incurred a net loss of 1 billion pesos in 2022, a reversal from the 725.5 million pesos profit it recorded the previous year. The company's operating EBITDA fell 26% year-on-year to 2.8 billion pesos as a result of higher cost of sales and lower volume. CHP booked 934 million pesos in foreign exchange losses of 934 million pesos due to a weak peso. It saw consolidated net sales dip by 2% to 20.6 billion pesos as domestic cement volume decreased by 10% due to challenges of escalating inflation and subdued market demand. 2022 was a challenging year, as economic and political uncertainty translated to unprecedented cost increases, while industry demand softened, CHP President and CEO Luis Franco said. CHP is looking at a flat to low single-digit percentage decrease for its domestic cement sales volume this year. Franco said CHP expects 2023 to be a year of transition for the company. We anticipate that market conditions and cost inflation will remain challenging through the first half of the year. Nevertheless, we expect to start to see the benefit of our efforts to reduce cost as the year progresses, Franco said. I strongly believe that, by executing our strategies and working as one team, we will be able to build a stronger Cemex Holdings Philippines in 2023, he added. AP News. Aboitiz Power Corporation. Aboitiz Group, Kawasaki and Amber Kinetics explore partnership on renewable energy technologies. Aboitiz Power Corp., Kawasaki Heavy Industries, Limited, IKS Co., Limited, and Amber Kinetics have forged a Memorandum of Understanding, MO, to explore the development of proprietary technologies on renewable energy projects. Under the MO, the parties will leverage their respective new generation technologies and expertise to optimize renewable energy development in the Philippines while contributing to energy cost savings and grid stability. This may lead to further exploration and expansion beyond the Philippines to ASEAN, Japan, and Australia. With this consortium, the Philippines and Japan can make a significant impact on our transition towards a more sustainable future. Our partnerships represent a powerful alliance that will drive technological innovation and harness the power of renewable energy to create a brighter future for generations to come, said Sabon Aboitiz, chairman of Aboitiz Power. Kawasaki leverages on its offer of energy solutions that can be provided through the supply chain of project developments as well as energy storage primarily in the area of massive-scale reinvestments, including its headway on the rollout of virtual synchronous generators, VSG, technology for power generators. BRN News. A Brown Company, Inc., Walter Brown gets SEC nod to venture into palm oil business. The listed holding company of businessman Walter Brown received the green light from the Securities and Exchange Commission to engage in the palm oil business. In a regulatory filing, A Brown Co., Inc. said the SEC approved the incorporation of Surigao Greens Agri Corp., SGAC, a new subsidiary that will manufacture crude palm oil, refined bleached deodorized palm oil, and palm oil, among others. The products will be distributed wholesale or retail basis, provided that the company shall not solicit or take placements from the public and neither shall it issue investment contracts. A Brown has subscribed to 12.5 million common shares representing 100% of SGAC's outstanding capital stock. A Brown, through its subsidiaries, is also engaged in hotel operations, real estate brokerage and power generation. It also has investments in gold mining assets. CPM News Century Peak Holdings Corporation Willie Kenji's Century Peak hoping to make presence felt in cement industry as it starts selling in Visayas. Century Peak Holdings of Filipino-Chinese business magnate Wilfredo Keng has started the ball rolling for its foray into the cement industry, with Visayas as the company's maiden market. In a regulatory filing, Century Peak said subsidiary Century Peak Cement Manufacturing Corp. CPCMC, has commenced the distribution of its cement products to the Visayas region.
We are looking at the markets where we can make an impact, and the Visayas region, particularly in Cebu, Palawan, Mindoro, Bohol and Dumaguete, are included in our initial phase of distribution, Century Peak Vice President for Finance Katrina Keng said.
The new cement player will be primarily engaged in the business of manufacturing, production and merchandising of cement products and byproducts, including their derivatives and all kinds of minerals and building materials.
The company's Pro-blended hydraulic and prime Portland cement products have already secured quality standard certification from the Department of Trade and Industry.
CPCMC's plant in Cebu has its own pier which is located nearby and allows for efficient logistics in getting the cement products via barge transport anywhere in the country, especially in the Visayas.
Century Peak said the start of its cement operations comes at a time when post-pandemic recovery expects a rise in construction projects as businesses return to normal.
As a locally developed brand, we put first the interest of the nation and our countrymen. It begins, naturally, with our product that meets the standards set by the certifying bodies that ensure quality, Keng said.
We are also targeting underserved localities that may not have much option in terms of cement brands and, by doing so, create for consumers a choice, she added.
RLC News Robinson Land Corporation Rabinagokong way to spend as much as 7 na bilyong piso to build 200 new supermarkets, pharmacies, specialty stores. Robinsons Retail Holdings Inc. is accelerating its expansion this year with up to 7 billion pesos earmarked for the construction of 180 to 200 new stores across most business segments.
Last year, Bilyonaryo Rabinagokong-led RRHI spent P4.738 billion to increase its network to a total of 2,310 stores nationwide. This excludes the 2,151 branches of the generics pharmacy TGP. The company hopes to maintain its profitability and growth with the continued expansion of its brick-and-mortar presence as the economy has somewhat returned to normalcy. RRHI expects same-store sales growth to rise to as much as 6% this year from only 5.3% in 2022.
Since the opening of its first Robinsons department store in Metro Manila in 1980, RRHI expanded into the supermarket business in 1985, the do-it-yourself (DIY) business in 1994, the convenience store and specialty store businesses in 2000, and the drugstore business in 2012. It also launched a chain of community malls in 2015. STI News STI Education Systems Holdings, Inc. Eusebio Tanco led STI quadruples earnings as enrollments jump. Earnings of Eusebio Tanco's STI Education Systems Holdings grew more than fourfold in the first half of its current fiscal year, driven by an increase in student population.
STI posted a net income of 223.4 million pesos for the 6-month period ending December 31, 2022, 4 times more than the 56 million pesos recorded in the same period a year ago.
After incurring a net loss of 47.6 million pesos in the first quarter, or from July to September, STI bounced back in the second quarter, or from October to December, with net income surging 57% year-on-year to 271 million pesos. The increase in the number of enrollees and improvement in the enrollment mix for school year 2022 hanggang 2023 boosted 6-month revenues by 28% to 1.44 billion pesos. STI saw a 14% rise in its student population to 74,312 from 82,629 enrollees in the previous school year. With higher student population, tuition and other school fees during the period went up by 23% to 1.25 billion pesos. Revenues from educational services and royalty fees also jumped by 17% due to the increase in the student population of franchised schools.
The group recognized other income amounting to 5.8 million pesos, representing a donation from Huawei as part of its partnership program, the proceeds of which were used to purchase IdeaHub equipment used to put up a Huawei Smart Classroom in STI Academic Center Ortigas, Cainta.
Aurelio Henry Sosanto connection, Figaro Mondays Angels Pizza to fly to Indonesia for expansion.
Mondnis in MNDE is reportedly keen on bringing the pizza restaurant of Figaro Coffee Group FCG, of Bilyonaryo Jerry Liu to its co-founder's home in Indonesia.
A babbler said Mond CEO Henry Sosanto was keen on bringing FCG's Letter Popular Angels Pizza to Indonesia for expansion. Sosanto, the son-in-law of the late Hidejot Darmono who formed Mondnisin with ultra-bilyonaryo Betty Ang, had already hinted at FCG's letter potential for overseas expansion when Mond announced its purchase of 15% in FCG for 820 million pesos on January 27, but he did not elaborate. Analysts had solely focused on FCG's letter access to MOND's flour and ingredients as the biggest benefit from the deal while overlooking its new partners' global network, especially in Indonesia. FCG also revealed in its disclosure that it was doubling its original plan to open 100 stores based on its 2022 initial public offering, IPO, after getting fresh funds from Mond. Angel's Pizza, which accounts for 91% of FCG's letter revenues, currently has 41 branches in the country and Liu had previously planned to open 35 more stores across the country by the end of 2024.
Liu formed Angel's Pizza in 2009 with a core team of former employees of Domino's Pizza Philippines. The franchise was originally owned by the Delgado family and taken over in 2020 by Goldilocks Bake Shop of the Ye family.
Babbler said the unlikely partnership between FCG and Mond came about through the friendship which blossomed on the fairways of Manila Gulf between Liu and Sosanto, two expats who made the Philippines as their new home. Or News, Oriental Peninsula Resources Group, Inc.
Oriental Resources shares soar as Carol Tanche strikes hydro, solar deal with Marubeni.
Shares of Oriental Resources Group, OR, are making headlines today, with a 30% surge to P1.08, following an $870 million renewable energy deal. The total value of trades reached 51 million pesos.
The deal, reported exclusively by Bilyonaryo.com, was signed by its owner, Bilyonaryo Carol Tanche, and Marubeni Corp. Of Japan during the state visit of President Bongbong Marcos in Japan last week.
Tanche's Oriental Energy and Power Generation, in which OR holds a 30% stake, has agreed to build a 250 megawatt hydropower plant and a 150 megawatt solar plant. The majority ownership of Oriental Energy resides with Tanche's Citymax Group. The company already has several hydropower projects underway, including locations in Timbobon, Aklan, Manolo Fortich, Bukidnon, and Ojongan, Romblon.